welcome or welcome back to Heretic Owl Tarot. I'm so glad that you're joining me for these messages. It just brings me so much joy to read your cards. Speaking of, my calendar is now open for personal readings. The link for that is in the description below. Of course, anything you could ever want to know about this reading is going to be in the description below. And honestly, that's really all I have. I'm not even sure what decks we're going to be using yet. I just started getting that like poking feeling last night to start putting out messages again. So that's what we're going to do. And this is probably the quickest intro I've ever done, but let's get into it. Great. So let's see here. I woke up with a sore throat, which is annoying. So anyway, send some good vibes to my throat. If you have any vibes available, let's see who's next. We have Taurus. Alrighty, shouts out to Taurus. I'm a Taurus sun. So we have the Everyday Witch Oracle, and we have the Everyday Witch Tarot. So let's just get an overall vibe for Taurus. Accept, love, beautiful. This can go in so many different directions too. It could be romantic love. It could be heart chakra, as far as, opening your heart chakra if you're anything like me and have that shit totally on lockdown most of the time. It doesn't have to be romantic if that's not even something that you're looking for. If it is, of course, it would speak to that. But otherwise, it's even, love comes in so many different forms too, right? Like, I don't know why this is coming to me, but it's accepting help, right? It's, it could be a conversation. It could be a tough conversation, which I know is also like so hard to do. We just need 6 tarot cards. I'm going to read from the book on that. I did that because I think it came out for Pisces too. We have the Queen of Cups who, this definitely feels more about like giving to yourself. Because with the queens, it's all about like us recognizing the energy of the suit within ourselves. Like, we have to be able to give it to ourselves before we can give it to others. Or we have to be able to recognize it within ourselves before we give it. There's that saying, RuPaul always says at the end of RuPaul's Drag Race, if you can't love yourself, how in the hell are you going to love somebody else? Can I get an amen? That's exactly it. Like, you can only give, you can only show up at the depth of which you are giving to yourself and showing up for yourself. Talk about confirmation right away, like right out the gate. That's too many. We just need 5 more. Yeah, 10 of Pentacles. Six of Pentacles. 3 of Swords. Justice. And the 5 of Swords. I wonder if that was coming out Oh my gosh, we have the Sun at the bottom of the deck. 8 of Swords, 7 of Swords, a Star. Interesting. Okay. This is so very interesting because it's like the vibe up here is different than the vibe up here, or down here, I should say, the bottom row. I always find that to be so interesting because it doesn't always happen that way in these readings. And it's kind of like sometimes like this is the dream, this is the reality, or like this is the outward expression, like how we're presenting to the world, but inside is the bottom row. Is just, I just love when stuff like that happens. So like I said, I wanted to read about this. For many of us, it is easy to give love to others. It may be a little more difficult to accept it in return. Accepting love means believing that you are worthy of the gift, and not all of us really believe that we are. Accepting love can also feel risky, after all. If you open yourself to love, it can be taken away, leaving yourself feeling vulnerable and hurt. Passion, like fire, can burn us, but it is still worth it. Only in both the giving and receiving of love can we form balanced relationships, whether between friends, family, or romantic partners. You don't have to let people in if their affection seems false or comes with a price. But if those around you offer love freely and genuinely, try to accept it with an open heart. I assure you, you do deserve it. It does, like, this whole reading has this like tug of war feel to it, which is very interesting. How many times have I said that already? I say it a lot and I mean it. So like I said, we start with the Queen of Cups, and cups having to do with our emotions. It's how we feel about things, how we feel about ourselves, because like I said, the queens are when it's individual. It's, when we recognize the energy within ourselves. So it's self-love, it's self-nurturing, self-compassion, grace, all of those things, right? And this queen is clearly pregnant. There are these kittens over here. So it does have this matriarchal vibe to it. I mean, you don't have to be a mother. You don't have to be in a position where you want to conceive. I mean, of course, if you are, then, it would speak to that. But you could even be looked at as that person, whether in your friend group, your family, your job, to where you kind of step in and you take on that matriarchal role. But again, right, it's making sure though that she has this big ass shell here. So there is this energy of being sure that it's like there's a big enough vessel for all of the things. It's like including yourself when you're considering other people or considering other aspects of your life, like not stretching yourself too thin for the sake of other people, your business, your family even. And we have the 3 of Swords here with it. And this is what I mean. Like, there's this tug of war because we have the Queen of Cups, which is, very self-love, very nurturing. We can see that in that card. And then the 3 of Swords is like heartbreak, betrayal, rejection. There's also nobody laying in this bed, right? So it's like, is there somebody that is absent? And that's kind of why this Queen of Cups is having to step in. This also talks about lack of communication or difficulty in communication, because too, the ink thing is spilled out. The journal is closed and locked. So there's a couple different feelings with that. It's either things are going unsaid, or there's this energy of like closing the book on something. It's like you have maybe even said all of the things that you could have possibly said. Even with journaling, right? I mean, the power of journaling is to get those thoughts out of our heads so that they have less of a possibility of snowballing. Because, like if we do keep something in our head, it's all of the would-ifisms, all of the whataboutisms. Like it just starts snowballing and becoming this bigger thing. And then it's like, once we get it out of our head and either say it out loud or put it on paper and we see it, it's like, oh, it's making that a bigger deal than it was. I can tell you that, like I said, I'm a Taurus sun. And I feel like this is very much like speaking to like even my current experience. And I try, like when I sit down here, I try to, of course, like separate, like myself, because the reading obviously isn't strictly, for me. But of course, I feel like in every reading I get something out of it anyway. I mean, how could you not? But just stick with me, I guess is what I'm saying, because I already feel like myself shutting down. Like, because it's just like, no. And I was just having this conversation with a friend of mine, and who's also a Taurus, and my response was literally no. So anyway, like, if that's you too, like I said, just if you can, stick around. This could also be healing a past hurt with like a past wound, or getting over a breakup or some sort of conflict here. And it could be also because, like you are recognizing the love like within yourself, giving that to yourself. It's so necessary. But I know, sometimes it seems like so like cliche or trivial almost, like eye roll, yeah, giving love to myself. But I mean, truly, it is so necessary. Because also then too, it's like you learn how to be loved. Like, how do you want to accept love from other people, in what forms, or in what, how is your communication? And then we have the 10 of Pentacles, which is family, it's legacy. We literally have the whole band here. That's the King of Pentacles, the Queen of Pentacles, the Page of Pentacles, and the Knight of Pentacles. I don't know who this kid is. But the 10 of Pentacles talks about legacy. It talks about, sharing with others. Pentacles have to do with our money. It has to do with, our resources and materials available to us. Our physical body also. And again, I'm curious, like what the book says. I just got this deck and that Oracle deck, I don't know, like a week and a half ago when I started putting these videos out. And I already have the pocket size version of this deck, but I wanted the actual, like, the real size version. And it came with this beautiful big ass book, which I love. It says, and they all lived happily ever after. Happiness is more than money. Wait. Happiness is more than money. Success is more than wealth. Abundance comes in many forms. Be sure you live each moment to the fullest, especially those shared with others. Money doesn't guarantee happiness, but a certain level of financial security can definitely make it easier to relax and enjoy what you have. The 10 of Pentacles is an indication that you will have or will obtain your desires. It looks like everything is finally coming up roses. Just remember that roses have a life cycle too, and nothing living stays at its peak forever. Enjoy the good days while you are living them, and let the strengths of you derive from home and success help you even better prepared. What? Enjoy the good days while you are living them, and let the strengths you derive from home and success help you be even better prepared for whatever life will throw at you next. This card is all about getting what you want and reveling in it. So you might want to ask yourself, what do you really want? Yeah, all of that. There could be a family aspect to this. Family can be chosen or biological, and it's paired with the Justice card, which is Libra. So there could be a Libra involved, there doesn't have to be. But justice is about the scales balancing, it's about fairness. There's a karmic aspect that comes along with justice as well. This could be, literally getting what you deserve. And that's what this card kind of talks about too. So if there is, some sort of like healing going on, or some sort of love that you are recognizing within yourself and pouring into your own cup, it could be creating this situation here with the Ten of Pentacles and the Justice card. Because it's also like this Justice card, they have a blindfold on, but it's not covering one eye. And it's kind of like the powers that be, the universe, if you will, or this could be an actual person, but it's like, they recognize the efforts that you've made. And that's why, like this thing is being handed down to you. This could have to do with a court case, or even, inheritance here with this combination. Like it could be a will, something along those lines. And then we have the Six of Pentacles, which talks about giving and taking. It's this reciprocity thing that also has a bit of like a karmic kind of aspect to it, because it's like that, the energy that you put in is the energy that you will get back. But also, that you could be any one of these people in this card. You could be this person that it's like, they have the right resources. They're giving coins to this person. Over here, there's a basket of food being either received by them or given to this lady. But, like this person in the middle, it's like they're facilitating, like they're the middleman, like they're facilitating these exchanges here. So, there could be something coming in to you, like a gift, or you could be giving. Yeah, it's like, I think I even said it in the beginning, where, accepting help or asking for help is a form of love and a form of self-love too. And the person who would be giving the help, providing the help, that would be an offer of love also, right? So I think it's so cool that both of those cards came out at the beginning and at the end. But then, it's paired with this Five of Swords, which is about, like, I see the Five of Swords as mental gymnastics. There could be more than one person involved here, and it's like, there's one person that has all of the control. And then there are these two people here that are like, what the hell? But it's also like, did this person prepare and practice more than these two people, right? Like there's this book down here, there's a cat that has their paw on it. So that to me, it's like telling me that this person prepared in one scenario. And that's why they're able to do this with the swords. And these two people didn't prepare, but it's like they're making this person out to be the jerk, but because it makes them look bad, but really like they look bad because they didn't prepare, they didn't practice, they didn't study. But swords having to do with our thoughts and also our ego, because that's where we hear our ego is in our minds. And the ego is created by the stories that we attach to experiences, right? So this could be triggering something, within them, which is why they're projecting. This person could be a ball hog. They could be a one-upper. This has very like Hermione Granger vibes to it. I love Hermione. I'm not saying she's like a one-upper, but she is an over-preparer, right? But then she's also like, what? Be mad at yourself over here. So this definitely does have this like feeling of like playing nice, but also the girls are fighting. And it's interesting that there are 3 people in this card, 3 people in that card. And like I said, it's like this row feels one way, this row feels another way, because these are all air cards down here. Swords are Libra, Gemini, Aquarius. And like I said, the Justice card is Libra. And then we have Water and Pentacles up here. So it's interesting. There could be something going on, like within your community or your family. And it's like you have the ability to step in here and, provide for it, like that give and take thing, like come to a compromise or some sort of an agreement where everybody benefits. But then there's this stuff down here where it's like, I've been here before and it didn't go well. And then this Justice card is, the scales are balancing here. So there is, again, like this karmic aspect to it, but we still have this like conflict. Fives are transitionary energies. They're not something to like, pitch a tent and get stuck in. But they do get us from one place to another. So sometimes it's like, that conflict it's necessary to, clear the air or air any grievances or, actually communicate what the problem is. And then it gets you to this other position. And we have the Sun card at the bottom of the deck. And it's so interesting because after the Sun card, there are a few other Swords cards. So the Sun is like everything good. It's joy, it's bliss, it's fun. We can't survive without the Sun. So it has this life force energy to it, regeneration. And even just the fact that, getting vitamin D makes us feel better, and how the majority of Americans, at least from what I understand, I don't know outside of the United States, but I saw this study once that said that the majority of Americans are deficient in vitamin D. So that could be, just a heads up to start taking a vitamin D supplement, or it's going into spring. So, just getting outside more if it's, accessible to you. Again, there's 3 people on this card, and there's also 3 generations. 4 if you include that this one person is pregnant. This person seems to be the oldest. This person could be, like their daughter in some capacity. And then we have this person that looks to be the youngest. It doesn't have to strictly be a family, but this is something generational where, there could be somebody older than you or even possibly younger that would be involved in the situation. And again, pregnancy can just be the fertility of opportunities, like reproduction in the sense of, we have all these sunflowers here. They have seeds. Those seeds would reproduce or produce more sunflowers. So again, like even going back to this accepting love, it's like, the love that you give, it multiplies. And then we have the 8 of Swords, which is a self-inflicted mind prison. This is feeling stuck. Even this cat is like, what's up with this sword? But they're not, they have ribbon around their wrist, but it's not that they could take this blindfold off, get up, and walk away. It's like you're one decision away from the Sun card. We have the Seven of Swords behind, and the Seven of Swords to me is the card of us fooling ourselves, because the Seven of Swords also talks about betrayal, manipulation, trickery. Is this person stealing these Five Swords? And it's interesting that they're carrying the Five Swords because the other two are here on this wall. Or are they bringing them back? Are they just moving them? Are they just doing something in I want to say silence, but that's not what I'm like trying to say. They're doing something on the down low, right? Like not a lot of people maybe even know what they're doing. But again, like I said, like I see the Seven of Swords as being the card of us fooling ourselves. This is like, self-sabotagey energy. This is when your ego pops up and it's like all of the reasons why we shouldn't do something based on the stories that we've attached to experiences. And then that puts us in the Eight of Swords, where it's like analysis paralysis. But then we have the effing Star card, which is Aquarius. So again, with these, with the air energy, that is so interesting to me. This is the card of like trusting the process. There's a faith and hope aspect to this. I see the Star card as being that space between where we manifest, where we try to manifest in the 5D and the 3D. It's like, trying to bridge those things together. And that's, the Star card is like trust the process, like the manifestation. If you're thinking of it, if you are trying to manifest it, then it would be available to you at some point. So then it's about, taking the steps in the 3D toward that manifestation so that the two things can bridge together. So, talk about even the sun is an actual star, right? I mean, like scientifically. So it's interesting that we have these two air cards that talk about where the state of mind that we're in. And on either side of that is this good stuff. We have the Page of Cups, which is about imagination. There's, even just kind of this like freedom aspect to it. Play, Three of Wands, changing directions. The Two of Swords, indecision. The Chariot was after that, which is, things moving forward. Very interesting. Whatever this is, I feel like these two right here, because I'm like staring at these two cards. Whatever this is, this to me feels like being sure, and I've probably already said this, but being sure that whatever happens, that you are communicating your needs. Okay, I'm going to leave it there. Thank you so much for allowing me to read your cards. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.